Hey guys, Sage Topaz here. I hope everyone is having an amazing day and staying safe. Thank you so much for checking out my video. I really appreciate it. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the hardest games on the Sega Master System. So the Sega Master System, for those of you who don't know, is a console created by Sega. It was released in 1985, and in my opinion, it is one of the greatest consoles of all time. The Sega Master System was actually the first video game console I ever played. I remember playing the Sega Master System when I was 5 years old. So that was the first ever video game console I ever played. It introduced me to video games. And because of the Sega Master System, that made me fall in love with video games. So me and my brothers used to play the Sega Master System all the time. It was such an amazing game. It was so much fun, and it introduced me to so many great games like Vigilante, Shinobi, Double Dragon, and of course Sonic the Hedgehog, which is my favorite video game character. So, so Sega Master System definitely was the reason that I love video games to this day. So Sega Master System games, they were a lot of fun, but they were super challenging. And I feel like a lot of old school video games, they were very challenging. They were just very challenging with like the enemies and like the puzzles. But what made it even more challenging was you couldn't save your game. So nowadays, video games auto-save, or you can save your progress whenever you want. But back in the day, like the Sega Master System, you could not save your game. So even if you had gone through like 20 levels, if you died or maybe the power went out, and you hadn't finished the game, you would have to start all over again. So that's what added to the difficulty of Sega Master System games. You couldn't save. So whenever you finished a Sega Master System game or old school video game, it was such a huge accomplishment because you did not save your game. You could not save your game. So after fighting all of these difficult bosses and going through all these puzzles and going through all this platform jumping and dying from, falling down all these stages and stuff, and you finally finish a game, it was a huge accomplishment because video games back then were just so much more difficult. Nowadays, you can save your progress, which makes it so much easier. But anyway, I don't have a particular order of these video games that I find difficult. And this is just my opinion. These are just video games that, in my opinion, I think are super difficult. Some of you might hear this list and be like, what are you talking about? These games weren't difficult. Well, that's your opinion, okay? In my opinion, these video games were super difficult. And to this day, I have not been able to finish any of these video games. Like, there are even some games I have not been able to get past of the second level, okay? That's how difficult these games were to me. So anyway, let's get started. In no particular order, one of the most difficult video games on the Master System is Ninja Gaiden. So Ninja Gaiden was created in 1992, and it is a very popular video game series to this day. And I also played Ninja Gaiden 2 on the Xbox, which was also a ridiculously hard game, okay? Like Ninja Gaiden 2, I cannot tell you how many times I screamed in frustration and wanted to throw my controller out of anger and frustration because of how difficult that game was. But you know what? I think I might make a video about that later. For now, let's focus on Ninja Gaiden. So anyway, yes, Ninja Gaiden was made in 1992. It was an amazing game. It was like a action adventure game. It also involved, platforming. It was a really great game. You could use different skills and different abilities to defeat your enemies. And you could also jump from one platform to another. So yeah, it was a really fun game, but it was really difficult. I mean, the enemies were super difficult. Again, it was, it was a platform game as well. So it was really challenging, even just to get from one platform to another, and also the bosses were super difficult as well. And I feel like as the levels progress, the bosses just got more and more difficult. Like, man, those bosses in Ninja Gaiden were brutal. Like, they were super hard. So I have never been able to finish Ninja Gaiden. However, my big brother was able to finish Ninja Gaiden, and he was super proud of himself when he finished Ninja Gaiden. I was very proud of him. It was a huge accomplishment because that game was hard, okay? It was a difficult game. So when he finally finished it, I was very proud of him. But yeah, really difficult game. Fun game, but super challenging. Another game that was super challenging, one of the most difficult games on the Master System, is Rescue Mission. Rescue Mission was made in 1988. It is a action adventure war game, and basically, you have to protect this soldier who's on a train track, and as he's going around the train track, he's trying to like rescue his fellow soldiers in battle. Now this game was super difficult because you had so many enemies like just attacking you at once, so many enemies trying to kill you. You had all these bombs and bullets trying to get at you, and basically you had to like, shoot all these enemies and protect this soldier on the train tracks. So yeah, it got pretty overwhelming. Because there were just so many enemies coming at you at once, and it could just be a lot. And again, you couldn't save your progress, so if you died, you had to start all over again. So, but the game was really exciting. It was very intriguing. It kept you on your toes because, again, you had to be super aware of like all the enemies around you, and you had to really keep an eye out for your soldier and protect them. And sometimes like you'll see like an enemy about to attack him, and then you like quickly like shoot that enemy. So you were definitely always on your toes. So it was very fast paced, but again, sometimes the enemies were super overwhelming. So that made it to me one of the most difficult games. And I don't think I even got I don't even think I was close to ever finishing that game. Like I think maybe I made it to the second or third level. I don't know. I did not go very far in that game at all, just because those enemies were just, it was a lot. It was a lot to handle. Fun game, but super challenging. What other game? One of the most difficult games on the Sega Master System also was Operation Wolf. Operation Wolf is another war game. It was a shooting game on the Sega Master System, and it was made in 1987. Again, the enemies of that game could be super overwhelming. I mean, you had all these bullets, all these bombs, everyone just coming at you. And yeah, it was a lot. I think I made it to the last level, and I could just never finish the game. Like every time I made it to the last level, no matter how hard I tried, I would always get killed. So yeah, it was a very, again, it was a very fast-paced game. It kept you on your toes. It was very exciting, but it was just very frustrating because again, there were just so many enemies overwhelming you, and it was really, really difficult. Very difficult game. Terminator was made in 1992, obviously based on the Terminator movie. I feel like that game, the graphics were great. It was a really well-made game. But I think it is one of the most difficult games because, again, just the enemies were very hard to deal with. And also, I couldn't make it past the Terminator. So there was this particular stage where you face the Terminator, and he's in like this bar or club, and he always killed me. Like no matter how hard I tried, the Terminator would always kill me. Like I could just never get past that stage. And that's why I put it in the most difficult games, because I just could not get past that darn Terminator. So yeah, I could never finish Terminator as well. And that's why I listed as one of the most difficult games on the Sega Master System. It was a fun game to play though. It was really fun, but I just couldn't get past that Terminator. I don't know why. Action Fighter. Action Fighter was made in 1986. And oh my goodness, me and my brothers loved playing that game. It was so much fun. So basically, Action Fighter, you are a driver in a car, and you basically are like going through this road. You're trying to dodge all these enemies, and you also get upgraded, okay? So you go from a car, and then you become a plane. And then also as you're driving, like this Sega truck comes by, and you go into the truck, and then you kind of like get like superpowers. So you kind of become faster and like invincible or something like that for a short period of time. It was such a fun game. It was really a lot of fun. However, it was super difficult, okay? So again, you just had all these enemies coming at you. You had all these, and then when you transformed from a car to a plane and you got in the air, you just had all these jets. Like they were like these jets just shooting at you, and like it was a lot. It was a lot. I believe like I just never got past the yeah, never got past the second level. Yeah. No matter how many times I played that game. It was a really hard game. It was fun, but I just kept getting killed. It was really, really hard. Really, really difficult game. Really fun game, but really difficult. And then finally, another difficult game on the Sega Master System, Cyborg Hunter. Cyborg Hunter, honestly, is one of the most difficult games, not just on the Sega Master System, but I think it's one of the most difficult games I've ever played in my life. Like Cyborg Hunter was it was so ridiculously hard. So, I'm sorry, I'm just having like flashbacks, really hard, some memories of how difficult this game was, and I'm getting very frustrated. So yeah, so basically Cyborg Hunter, you played this character and you had to like, you know, kill these bad cyborgs, and you were just in like this facility. And what made it frustrating for me is that I just didn't know where to go. Like, at least with the other games on this list, at least I knew where to go. At least I knew, you know, you go forward or you drive forward. You know what I mean? But Cyborg Hunter, what made it so difficult was I just did not know where the heck I was supposed to go. Like, there were so many levels. And don't get me wrong, Cyborg Hunter was very much ahead of its time. Like the fact that, you know, you had like these different levels, like you would go through different stages. You would like take this elevator and it would take you to like a different level, and you have to pass this level and then go to the other level. It was really ahead of its time. I felt it was very innovative as far as like the game design, but it was just very challenging because again, I just did not know where to go. I would take the elevator and then I would fight a couple of enemies and then I would be lost. And then I'm like at the end of the hallway and I didn't know what to do. Then I go back to the elevator, take the elevator, go on another level, and then there are no enemies. And then I'm like, what is happening? I don't know what I'm doing. And the enemies were also ridiculously difficult as well. So you had really difficult enemies, and you didn't know where you were supposed to go. I had no idea where I was going. I remember just going through like the elevator, going through these different levels, being completely lost, not knowing what the heck I was supposed to do, and just giving up because I just didn't know what I was supposed to do. And back in the day, it's not like nowadays where you can like go, you know, go on, I don't know, on YouTube, or, you know, go online and like look through a game guide to give you an idea of what to do. Back then, it's like there wasn't any game guides online. There wasn't even the internet. So good luck. You basically had to figure that out on your own. So yeah, Cyborg Hunter, man, that's, whew, man, it was one of the most difficult games. Yes, I don't think I was able to get past one level in that game. Again, because I was lost. And not just because I was a kid, but even just growing up, again, to this day, I have not been able to finish it because I have no idea what to do. It was just a game that I was completely lost and confused. So yeah, I guess some other difficult games. I'm not going to really go into them, but I would say Alex Kidd and Miracle World was also a difficult game just because, there was a part in Alex Kidd and Miracle World where you had to play rock, paper, scissors, and, you know, you could die from doing that. The Ninja was also a game on Sega that was pretty difficult. Again, just the amount of enemies that would overwhelm you. It was a lot, but it was also a fun game as well. So yeah, but yeah, that's it. That is my list. Just as a real quick video. I love the Sega Master System, but to me, these are the most difficult games on the Sega Master System, in my opinion. And even at my age, still not been able to finish them. But yeah, so yeah, that is the video. Thank you so much for checking it out. Do you agree with my list? Are there any other, have you ever played the Sega Master System? Are there some games that I didn't mention that you think are super difficult? You know, let me know in the comments below. And thank you for checking out the video, and have an amazing day. Bye.